Hey everyone, today we are back at Universal for the first ever night of Halloween Horror Nights. Tonight we're going to be doing the premium Scream night. We're going to be checking out all 10 haunted houses, 5 scare zones, checking out Nightmare Fuel, and even trying some of the food. So let's go ahead and have a great day adventure. Now, if you've never been to Halloween Horror Nights is a separate ticketed Halloween haunt event at Universal Studios, Florida. This year, they're going to have 10 different haunted houses. There's going to be 5 new scare zones. The return of Nightmare Fuel with a different theme. For example, this year, they have Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, A Quiet Place, and Insidious The Further. As for the original haunted houses, there's going to be Monsters of Latin America, Triplets of Terror, Major Sweets Candy Factory, Goblin's Feast, Slaughter Cinema 2, and the Museum Deadly Exhibits. It's also worth noting that Halloween Horror Nights is aimed for older audiences, 13 years or older, and can at times be intense and scary. So if you want a more family-friendly option for a Halloween event, then I would suggest watching the Mickey's Not Scary Halloween Party and the SeaWorld Halloween Spooktacular videos instead. This includes low wait times for haunted houses, minimal crowds, food that is included with the price, and early access to all the haunted houses and special entertainment. Between 6 and 6:30, there is an opening ceremony that happens at the front gate with the icons for the event, as this year's icons are going to be both sinister and surreal. Sinister embodies that physical pain and torture, while surreal embodies psychological horror, as the two team up for this year's event. So, let's go ahead and check out the opening ceremony so we can head inside Halloween Horror Nights.
Has been collected within the depths of Universal, weakening the veil between our world and yours.
And now, we have emerged from the shadows to spread our hellish grasp in the place where horror lives.
Enter an unimaginable nightmare, plagued by our most disturbing thoughts.
And fueled by the cries of our tortured soul.
Venture forth and encounter the terrors that lurk within. They wish to inflict mental torment
And physical pain. Kings and queens of sinister trade.
and twisted deeds of surreal domain.
They are the shadows within the fog. They will strike everlasting fear in your heart. And now, the time for bloodshed has arrived.
This night of horror belongs to
And we have our official premium Scream Night lanyard and credentials. And we are now in Duality of Fear. This is where Sinister and Surreal will be taking over. There's also going to be chainsaw scare actors all around. And most importantly, this is where you're going to be choosing your path, whether you're taking Sinister's path or Surreal's path.
For physical pain, not forth to experience the utter anguish and torment.
Yes, two sides of the same twisted coin.
Yes. 33 years we spent planning for this exact moment. And so many eager deaths
first house of the night, we're going to be entering into Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Located at Race Through New York, starring Jimmy Fallon, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire takes you into a frozen world of New York, where an ancient artifact has released a chilling new entity called Garaka. He'll stop you cold, and only the Ghostbusters can keep you from getting ice in this adaptation of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Now, this is going to be one of the most popular houses for this year's event, so I thought we would go ahead and do this one first. And we just got out of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. In my opinion, it is a pretty good house. It's a good way to start Halloween Horror Nights. I feel like the best part about this house is definitely the set designs. I thought it was incredible, and the costumes as well were pretty good. Also, if you did watch the film, then there are some new additional scenes in this house, so expect for those. If you haven't watched the films yet, I would definitely watch Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Some of the scenes can be confusing to anyone who hasn't seen the film, so I definitely recommend watching Frozen Empire. Overall though, I like the house, and now I think we're gonna go ahead and head into a quiet place. Inside this house, you enter into an apocalyptic world where if you make a sound, you won't last long. Monstrous creatures will hunt you down as the world of the first two films come to life. So this is also going to be one of the popular houses as well. So I thought we'd go ahead and get this done as well. And we just actually got out of Insidious, The Further. Now, before we get into that, let me talk about my review of Quiet Place. Quiet Place is incredible. A lot of great set pieces, good scares, and most importantly, the atmosphere is scary. I feel like the first room is a bit dark. Overall, it is an incredible house. After that though, we went into Insidious The Further. It is a house based off the 5 Insidious films, where you're entering through the red door into The Further, where you encounter all 3 of the creatures inside. So let's go ahead, head inside. Oh my goodness, that house was so intense. Quite possibly the scariest haunted house in Halloween Horror Nights that I have ever been inside. There is tons of jump scares. The set pieces are absolutely amazing, and the costuming as well are great. This is honestly the best house so far. I think right now though, we're gonna go ahead and see what other houses we can do. Now, while we're taking a break, I did want to mention some of the food items. At the Fanta bar, you can get specialty beverages, premium cocktails, beer, wine, and other beverages like Coke products and water. There is also the Twilight Tavern, which serves In the Fog fish chips for $17, Forbidden Falafel for $10.99, the Bride's Cake for $7, and I figured we would try some of the fish and chips and the Bride's Cake. Now at Twisted Taters, they have the Twisted Tater, which is fried spiralized potato topped with choice of seasoning, whether that's sour cream and chives, garlic parmesan, or seasoning salt for $10. And I decided to get myself a garlic parmesan Twisted Tater. The Twisted Taters are delicious, very well seasoned and cooked, and it is a great snack at Halloween Horror Nights. That is a classic. Now there's going to be 2 Ghostbusters food booths. There is the frozen death chili, this Korean corn dog dipped mint cheesecake with buggles and glitter for $12. There's also a mini Stay Puft s'more for $7. This unfortunately sold out, so if there's one food item you might want to get, it is definitely this one. Then at the other food booth, there is Slimer's Korean corn dog for $12. Class V concoction for $15, and Baraka's Icy Breath for $8.50. Avenue Eats has a street corn riblets for $6, Pita de Gallo for $7, and chicken empanada for $15. There's also the Insidious food booth with some food options, such as the Red Door, which is a potato and onion-filled hand pie for $9.49. Eggs in the Further, which is a jalapeno brioche eggs in a hole for $12. The Last Key Pop for $7. And the Veil of Shadows along with a non-alcoholic Beyond the Veil as well. Nearby Mel's Dine, there is this Halloween Horror Nights bar. There's all sorts of characters out from the haunted houses, from Goblin's Feast, Major Sweets, and even Slaughter's Cinema. We have specialty beverages like Ghoul Juice, Murderita, Quick Dive Margarita, cocktails, beverages, wines, and Coke products. Now for a food booth located nearby Central Park, there is El Mercado de los Monstruos, which is a Monstruos themed food booth. There's a heartbeat tostada for $7.49, spinal column pinchos for $10.99, pork carnicera for $9, chocolate tres leches for $6. For our next scare zone, we're going to be entering inside Swamp of the Undead, located at Central Park. You're going to be stepping inside the backwaters of Louisiana with all sorts of zombies around, and you might even encounter some gators along the way. Oh, look at that. Whoa! Didn't expect the last one. There's also some gators, you know, lovely. Of course, if you remember last year, you would remember that one of the best food items at Halloween Horror Nights is the pizza fries, and of course, we had to get them. Usually they are $11.49, and they're going to be located at the DreamWorks Imagination Cafe. This has marinara, sausage, pepperoni, fries, and cheese, and this is incredible. I cannot wait to dig in. Located at Animal Actors on Location, there is a Slaughter Cinema 2 bar with specialty beverages like a Shirley Black, premium cocktails, mixed with a choice of your liquor, beverages, wine, and Coke products. In terms of food, there is the Summer Camp Dog for $10.49, Europa Via Walking Taco for $14, a vegan walking taco for $14, Rocks from Hell, which are these crispy jalapeno and cheddar cheese stuffed lumps of coal for $7.49, and cinema popcorn. These flaming hot Cheetos flavored popcorn are going to be $6.69. Also, there is the You Are Invited birthday party food truck, where it's located at the World Expo Bridge. There's the Say cheeseburger for $10, the Bloody Goodie Bag, which is these crispy chicken chunks with fries, pepper onion mix, and a Bloody Good sauce for $10, the Slasher Sibling Sweet Sampler, which is this bubblegum mousse balloon funfetti cupcake, and a chocolate cheesecake cone trio for $8.49, along with specialty draft beer and drinks. And we are now going to be doing our fourth house of the night, which is going to be Museum Deadly Exhibits. Located nearby Simpsons Ride, it is a house where you're entering inside of folklore's newest exhibit, the Rotting Stone, where it has released an evil spirit that decays everything and is going to be coming for you. So let's go ahead and head inside.
That will be opening. The Rotting Stone from Western Europe has hundreds of years. The Rotting Stone has had this.
And we just got out of the museum, deadly exhibits. It was underwhelming. Personally, I didn't think there was too many jump scares, and the execution was kind of generic. Overall, it's probably one of the more disappointing houses this year. But we're going to go ahead and head over to Slaughter Cinema. This is a house dedicated to 8 different trailers, whether that's a spaghetti western, a creature feature, a Christmas themed horror movie, and plenty of other films inside. So let's go ahead and head inside Slaughter Cinema 2.
All right, everybody, give it up for Cinnamon! What a performance! Seems like y'all are having one hell of a time tonight. So without further ado, allow me to introduce our next act. Place the stage for the very first time. Gentlemen, please welcome the one, the only, Nefertiti! Yeah!
And we just got out of Slaughter Cinema 2. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty disappointing, unfortunately. I thought the house was a bit rushed, but the execution in some rooms were pretty well done, and the scare actors were pretty good for the most part. I would say overall it is a fine house, but could have been a bit better with the execution in some scenes, as it's tonally all over the place. So we have 200 houses to go. One of them is Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines, another is Goblins Feast. Located in one of the 2 new tents for this year's event, Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines focuses on a battle between Saskia Van Helsing and Bride Frankenstein, where they take revenge against Dracula's daughter, the Mummy, and her monstrous mavens. There's also Goblin's Feast right next door on the left, where you enter in a goblin village where a feast is being prepared for both goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, and witches, and you are the main course. So, thought we'd go ahead, head inside house. And we just got out of the 2 houses. In my opinion, both of them were pretty good. However, Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines was incredible. Definitely top 3 house of the night. There's a lot of great scares, a lot of great set pieces within the tent, and overall, a very good house. After that was Goblin's Feast, an original haunted house, and that one was pretty good as well. The sets and costumes were amazing, especially the jump scares in there. Overall, it's a very good house that I would also recommend. But out of the 2, I would say Universal Monsters is a bit better. Past Diagon Alley, there is a Wolfman photo op along with the Fanta bar. Then there is the Enter the Blumhouse Scare Zone, where you can encounter all sorts of Blumhouse characters from Purge, Megan, Happy Death Day, and many other films as well. There's a Major Sweets food booth with African lentil and potato. It's a coffin for $9 and a Cyclops cup for $5.49. And we got this Cyclops cup. This is a frozen peanut butter cup with candy eyeball. Then there's also the sour cherry lemonade boba, which is usually for $10. I thought we'd go ahead and try the Cyclops cup. But before we eat it, we must get out of here. Alright, so I just finished the Cyclops cup. I thought it was fine, very sweet, but I think the middle eyeball is way too hard. I think right now we're going to go ahead and head inside Major Sweets Candy Factory. Inside this haunted house nearby Fast and Furious Supercharged, you are chaperoning a field trip to a candy factory when all of a sudden the free samples transform the kids into candy-coated killers, and you must stay away from the candy before it too controls you. And I thought we would go ahead, head inside his house.
Come on, chaperones. You better get inside before the kids eat.
And we just got out of Major Sweets Candy Factory. It was very good. Very campy. The sets and costumes, well, again, this year, they were really good. I think for a house located in Fast and Furious, this broke the curse finally for not being a bad house. It is definitely top 5 house for sure. I think now we're going to go ahead and head over to Nightmare Fuel. But first, we must stop at Diagon Alley because there's some Death Eaters in there. During Halloween Horror Nights, especially starting at 4 p.m., there's all sorts of Death Eaters roaming Diagon Alley. And it's so cool. I wonder where they might be though. We'll see. Outside of Diagon Alley, there is a Fanta bar with some Gold Juice, Eye of Otis, and Soured Sunshine drinks, along with some cocktails, beer, wine, canned beverages, and Coke products. At Portofino Bridge, there is a Goblin's Feast area with harissa barbecue turkey wing for $7, pumpkin guts for $10.49, and a goblin pie for $6, along with Ghoul Juice for $17.50. And I decided to grab my very own goblin pie. This has buddy raspberry sauce, cinnamon sugar on a baked apple pie, and this looks delicious. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a try. This apple pie is so good. It's very warm, crispy, and sweet, especially with that raspberry sauce. And this tastes kind of like a McDonald's apple pie, so I'll definitely get this again for sure. And we're now heading inside Nightmare Fuel Nocturnal Circus. This is a show that happens 4 times per night at 8, 9:30, 11, and 12:30 a.m. This is definitely one of those shows I would highly recommend getting early on a night that is not tonight, because of course there's way lower crowds here. In this year's show, this theme is basically a nocturnal circus where a man has to relive the love of his life's death multiple times, over and over again. The show will feature fire, stunts, and many more effects inside. And this is one of the most popular shows. And this is a must-do when visiting Halloween Horror Nights. So we're gonna go ahead and watch Nightmare Fuel Nocturnal Circus. Honestly, Nightmare Fuel was incredible, especially when it comes to the performers, the music, and even the stunts themselves. I think this show is definitely worth watching, although it's important to know that you're going to have to block out an hour or so when coming, so it depends on what your priorities are for this event. Overall, Nightmare Fuel Nocturnal Circus is an amazing show that, if you have time, is definitely worth watching. Back here, there is the Fanta bar in San Francisco with some drinks such as a surreal soda, Ghoul Juice, Black Cat Reprieve, and a Sinister Spritz, along with some premium cocktails, canned beer, wine, and beverages. Speaking about the food booths, one of the food booths we need to talk about is the Quiet Place food booth in Sting Alley. Here you can get Abbott's Farm Corn Chowder for $9, Millbrook's Baked Beans for $9, and Wooden Board Eclair for $7, along with a Raining Blood drink for $13.50 to $17.50. For our next scare zone, we are entering inside of Torture Fair in New York. It is a Renaissance fair. However, you must avoid the torture devices before you're their next victim. Oh my goodness, great. Oh, and actually got me. Uh-oh. Also, there is some special lighting on the New York Public Library, but on the right, there is Triplets of Terror. Here, you are invited to the Barmia Triplets birthday party. However, every year, during their birthday, they recreate their family's murder, and you are one of the victims. This is one of the 6 original haunted houses, and this is supposedly the goriest house. So, we're gonna go ahead and head inside. I didn't really talk much about the lines tonight for Premium Scream Night, but all the lines tonight has been incredible, with the exception of A Quiet Place, which still took us 20 minutes, where usually it would take us like an hour or 2 hours. So tonight with the lines for Premium Scream Night, because of the lower crowds, it has been incredible. Now, out of all the houses, I think this is one of the weakest houses in my opinion. In fact, I don't think I even got scared at least once. And while the sets are interesting and there's a lot of gore, I feel like this house is one of the more forgettable ones in my opinion. Of course, during Halloween Horror Nights, Mel's Die-In is lit up. In Hollywood, we have the final scare zone, which is Demon Queens. Here you are entering into an otherworldly hellscape ruled by 4 queens who are loyal to Surreal's rule, as we are now entering into Demon Queens.
So many of them learn beyond. Listen to the cries of a tortured soul.
And now we're in line for our last last house of the night, which is Monstros, Monsters of Latin America. This is located nearby Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. Inside his house, you meet with La Muerte as your guide to try and survive the night with 3 terrifying legends in Latin America: Tlahupuchi, La Lechuza, and El Sabon. So let's go ahead and get done with house number 10. And we just got out of Montrose, and oh my goodness, it was so good. The house itself, along with the designs and the scare actors, were amazing. I think the house is very good. Although I think right now that's going to be it for all the houses, since we did all of the houses tonight. So before we head out, I thought we'd go ahead and get some merchandise. And I think I just got my shirt for tonight. We got ourselves the Houses shirt. We're going to purchase this, and afterwards, we're going to go ahead and head out of here. Also, throughout the night, there's going to be multiple rides open for guests. And that is going to be Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, Revenge of Mummy, Harry Potter Escape from Gringotts, and Men in Black Alien Attack. And that is going to be a wrap on our adventure here at Halloween Horror Nights. It was so much fun this year. Insidious was terrifying. Ghostbusters was insanely cool to see. Quiet Place was really good as well. All the houses this year, with the exception of Museum and Trip to Terror, were absolutely incredible this year. But I think that's going to be a wrap on our adventure here at Halloween Horror Nights. Let me know in the comments, are you planning on going to Halloween Horror Nights? And if so, what is your most anticipated house for this year's event? I would love to know. If you want to help support the channel, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and follow for more. Until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.